like that free
something.
music that I play sometimes.
It's called. You
Hmm.
can't call whistling free music, Jin. You can't call whistling
I
free
almost,
music.
I almost started singing or whistling the Andy Griffith theme song, and I was like, nope,
Yeah, you would
nope,
definitely get copyrighted for that. So,
bring it back.
Aloha Manga Club. It is your boy, Lohali, signing in. And today we are joined once again by my good friend, Allonsyyy, and my casual acquaintance, Jin Graves. So how are you doing, Allonsyyy?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's good to join you guys again at a more reasonable time
Absolutely.
this time. You know, not unlike the 2 o'clock start that we did last time, and I think we went on for quite a while with that show as well. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good, and pleased to be around you,
Right,
Jin, and Smokey, of
Of
course.
course,
right.
Smokey has to make
We
his
all know why you're
appearance.
here.
Wink,
You're
wink,
great.
nudge, nudge. So, Jin, how are you doing today?
Oh man, I hurt so bad.
Why do you hurt so bad?
I those big white boxes. I took a picture of it and put it on Twitter. Those big white boxes. I took like 10 of them over there to the new house. So I moved like 1,000 manga.
Jeez.
Only 1,000.
Probably a
Only
little more.
1,000.
Yeah.
Also, why are you wearing a hoodie?
Because it's cold. It's actually cold, and my ears, like, even though I've got these covered up, I'll get cold.
Darn Brits are so weak.
I know.
I'm
I
telling
know.
you,
We're not used to it.
the Irish
Where's
are the
the
ones who are the
beanie?
hardy.
Yeah,
The
well,
Irish are
it's
the
what
hardy
Base has
ones.
said. The Illuminati has already, it's caught up with me.
So we have to hide. So we
Yeah.
are actually really excited to have this discussion today. We wanted to open it up, obviously, to any questions about the Let's Get Serial show, but we also want to let you get to know us just a little bit better on my channel and talk about where MangaTube, what steps we've taken in the last month and a half to improve our channels, because I hate to tell you, you're 9 away from having 1,000 subscribers. How does that feel?
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. When I was first starting out, obviously wanted subscribers, but it didn't bother me that much. But now the OCD is creeping. I really want to. I don't know. I feel like it'll be like a relief of pressure almost to get over that. But I guess it's just a number. But yeah, like it is kind of crazy because I started the channel 5.5 months, well, less than 5.5 months ago. So just I was actually looking back at some of my first videos earlier on, and I was just like, look at this little guy. Like, not saying that I know so much about manga now, but it's quite nice because I know a little bit now. But I look back at those videos and I see someone that knew absolutely nothing. So it's really nice to kind of see that kind of journey already. But yeah, I don't know why people subscribe. I'm so glad that they do. But you're all crazy.
I mean, we're all a little bit crazy, but so are you. Jin is probably
We're
the
all,
craziest one here.
we're all a little
Well,
mad
yeah,
here.
that's true. That's true.
What was that
Would
from?
you think?
We're all
We're all a little mad here. Alice in Wonderland.
That's it.
Look at me. I don't know American things. That's ridiculous.
That's rubbish.
That's
Preposterous.
preposterous.
Yeah.
You darn bloody Americans. Did I get that right? I think I got that right. So we have
But it's
our
great. But I was going to say, it's just kind of crazy because, I mean, me and you started around the same time. Obviously, Jin's been around for a while. But I don't know if you guys think it, but like time seems to have like passed like so quickly because I still feel like in every video I say, I recently started reading manga, but it's actually not been the case anymore. Like it's been nearly half a year now. So it's just kind of crazy how like all the people that we've met through this, we've known them for around nearly half a year or so, or just a bit more. That just kind of it kind of like blows me away a little bit. Like it's not like these people that you get to start talking to that you've just started. They're not new. You know them like relatively decently. So it's kind of, I don't know. I've had a bit of a trip lately, just like reading, like looking back at old stuff, and it's yeah, it's been a bit of a wild ride. I'm sure you probably think the same as well.
It hurts my soul to know exactly what I have gone through in the past year. Like the quality change in my channel is ridiculous. Before I was sitting at a phone propped up doing like horizontal instead of landscape, vertical instead of landscape. Yeah, vertical instead of landscape, and it looked terrible. I was lit from the back with a regular light. I cried myself to sleep, honestly, whenever that happened. And I mean,
I remember I used to just rely on the sun, and like in my videos, the sun would like change constantly, so I couldn't grade it or anything like that. So it's just, yeah, it's like looking back at like little
You
like a
had
little
a,
child version of yourself,
a watch that went off at a specific time. You're like, this is the best time to get the best light.
Yeah,
Beep, 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 beep.
yeah.
Hop on.
It really is. It's like, go, we got 2 minutes. Let's go, go, go.
we gotta go. Oh my god! But it's been such an amazing ride, and to see how far everyone in the community has come, like everyone has made small adjustments to their content to become better, and I think that's really what the Let's Get Serial show is about for you and I, is getting better and taking things a step further.
Yeah, I think so. Well, the way that I see it is I like to I just want to kind of challenge myself. And the thing is in our community, obviously, is quite small. But I don't watch BookTube, but BookTube are quite, they've got people that are really pushing the edge of like quality and up in their game because it's so competitive over there. And I kind of just wanted to try and do that. And I just thought, look, I don't know anything about manga anyway. I don't know anything about YouTube anyway. So we might as well just screw it and just, go. And obviously, as I said, like you and I both know, I took a lot of influence from you because obviously obviously your quality's grown, exponentially since I've joined as well. But even back then, it took a lot of influence and stuff like that, and trying to take that and just kind of get creative with it and have fun with it.
And I feel so honored that I somehow influenced somebody to create content that was better than mine, which is now making me step up to try to do better than you. It's a continuous downward spiral of getting better. Or
no, I love
spiral.
it though. I love it when I see people make a video and I'm like, damn, that's so bloody good, man. And I get so jealous. And then I think, okay, but it's in a good way. So, I'm trying to think of people's videos off the top of my head, but like, well, I couldn't do it, but like Zach, Uchu Shelf's one where he does, his designs, like he redesigns like Japanese only manga and stuff, like the covers, and he'll redo that. I'm like, that's so cool. Or, like just when people started doing vlogs for a little bit and or whatnot, and just like you see a really cool idea and you're like, man, I get, if anything, I get more excited because I like seeing, I like seeing people get creative, not just the kind of same videos. I absolutely love it. And I love discussion videos as well. So I'm always like, man, they made a good point. And then it's a domino effect and I like it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the way that everyone pushes themselves on MangaTube, on BookTube, on all of the tubes combined. It's just ridiculous. We're one big, happy, slightly dysfunctional sometimes family. And by dysfunctional, I mean everyone realizes that I'm this weird redheaded stepchild, so it's all good.
No, but the thing that I like about it though is that it is small, and I generally feel like, well, unless there's other manga tubers that I don't know about, I feel like I know everyone, or at least had a conversation with them. I'm sure there's loads, maybe outside that I don't know, but I feel like anyone that I am aware of, you have some sort of connection with them, and there's no way that you can kind of be in the same room without at least kind of rubbing shoulders with certain people a little bit. Like there's no way that I could do MangaTube and never have spoken to Jim Graves. It doesn't make sense. So I think that's what I like about it. It's just like, because we're all here and with everyone stuck around, obviously for me and you, it's quite new. So we haven't seen people come and go that, whereas other people that have been around for a while would have, but it feels like, everyone's just like this. It's kind of like a school playground in a way,
I mean, we all know that, a playground is the best place to be. That's where you play dodgeball, at least.
Yeah, and you've always got that one kid that's just running around on his own, Naruto running around the playground.
There was groups of kids in my school, there were like 4 or 5 kids. I didn't know what the Naruto run was, but I would always run like this, it makes you faster. Now that I look older, I was like, no, it just makes you look dumber. It's not wrong necessarily.
I mean, my brother did that in high school, and I was like, wait, I don't know him.
Your brother ran Naruto style in high school, and you still talk to him?
Yeah, what that says to me is that kid's got balls. So
big old pair. Big
cojones. Big cojones.
You know how annoying it is when your cat sleeps directly in front of your computer when you're trying to do work? So you have to switch to a left-handed computer thing. I don't know how to use my.
I feel that my cat. I don't know what it is about cats, but they just seem to just love keyboards. I don't know what it is about them. Just like it's cool. Didn't need the space bar anyway.
Man,
Right.
it's just great.
You hear them, they're like, "Oh, this is like a massage chair. It just hits all the right points."
I mean, I would actually be really cool with a massage chair. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, although they're a bit loud.
They are. So what has changed in the past month and a half with your collection, your collecting style?
Well, I tell you what, it's actually stopped. I realized that when I first started, I think the manga tube kind of, it definitely accelerated things more than I probably would have liked. I definitely I think within my first month, I probably spent near enough £400 just on manga alone, and there was no way that I was going to read that much. But then, the whole manga tube thing, you want to get the hauls in and stuff like that. So I did quite a lot. But what I've noticed lately is I've just started slowing down. Like this month, I haven't bought anything because I'm just starting to go back and enjoy it. Because I think the worst thing that can happen is you just end up looking at a shelf just full of stuff that you haven't read, and then you kind of almost feel obligated to read it, or like, oh, I've just got to get through this because I really want this. So at the moment, like I'm over the 150 volume mark now, but at the moment, I've still got so much stuff that I want to go through. Like I've just started Berserk, and obviously trying to tackle One Piece as well. But I just don't want to keep buying volume ones of everything, because then you just never get around to it, or you just feel like it's then a compulsive thing to just kind of. I just want to I don't want to stack shelves. I've kind of stopped lately, but it doesn't mean that I've appreciated it any less. I definitely. I found that I think I've learned that I can only read maximum 2 series at one time. So I want to try and buy around that, if that makes sense.
That makes absolute sense. I mean, read one. I mean, you'll never be done with One Piece, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think the thing is as well is I decided I didn't want to buy just for the sake of it or putting out a YouTube video, because you could do a manga haul. It easily gets 1,000-2,000 views in a week. I don't care for that really. I think the main thing is that you enjoy it, because the last thing you want to do is end up with a bookcase of stuff that you're never going to read, and then you realize that okay, I've got a few decent videos out of it, but it doesn't mean much to you. So but yeah, no, I see CJ says as of right now, who's your favorite character in One Piece, and why is it Usopp? I actually like Sanji quite a lot from what I've seen of him so far, but Usopp is pretty badass, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, Usopp is absolutely hands down one of the bravest of men. The bravest of men.
Especially when his nose gets broken, like all the time.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen his nose not broken.
This is true.
Man.
All right, so I can see that there's a question now about Let's Get Serious. So should we just kind of
We'll answer a few every now and then, because I'm saving them up, because it's all from, a lot of them are going to be from Based. So one is actually very important because it's pertinent to the Lohali channel, the Allonsyyy channel, and that is, how will Let's Get Serial affect your own manga related content on your own separate channels? Well, this is a brilliant thing. Alex, I'll let you go first, and then I guess I'll hop in.
Well, I think you and I both know that it's just not going to affect it at all.
Exactly.
I think the reason why we wanted to do it, fortnightly, was to relieve that pressure, and also because it's not simply just a manga podcast. It's not really you can call it a pod, you can call it a show, but it's going to incorporate a lot more into it. So we wanted to have stuff to talk about. If we did it every single week, it's there's going to be less to talk about, and also it gives us so much time to do whatever. If anything, I was saying to you earlier on before we started, I've decided to kind of not do schedules anymore of my own videos, just because I just want to relieve the pressure and just put them out whenever, and I think that, I enjoy making videos so much as well, that there's, the Let's Get Serial is a show where we discuss, current things. Whereas when we want to get creative, we still have the channels as well. And I don't think that fire is ever going to stop. So, I think I can't see how it would affect it at all. I mean, I don't see. I mean, I normally pump out 2 videos a week, a live stream, and then we'll have this once every fortnight. Obviously, until we start doing it, we'll find out. If there's any like problems in the road, whatever. But I can't see it being an issue at all. I mean, if anything, I don't do my own podcast anymore, so that helps alleviate some of that kind of pressure as well. So. But I don't know about how you feel about it, but I imagine it's the same.
I mean, it's let me make sure this is clearly understood. I'm about to use very heavy sarcasm, just so we're all aware. I'm going to stop making manga-related videos completely because we're going to be filming a good show once every 2 weeks. Oh man, it's going to be real tough, real hard.
Well, this is another thing as well, is because the channel isn't primarily a manga channel. Sure, it's going to get talked about. But then, where we have our own channels is where the home of our, manga kind of stuff is. So, I mean, it won't get affected at all.
Absolutely. There's no way that I would change my content because of one simple thing like this. I changed my job around before I changed my YouTube channel around. I'm going to put it this way. Like, you all think I'm joking. I work a job 4 days a week, 10 hours a day, just so I can try to make better manga-related content. I ain't gonna let something like an extra show a week, every 2 weeks, even come close to affecting that.
Yeah, and I think maybe some of my old podcasts, they in terms of time, some of them got out of control. Like I remember, like me and Flip did a 2.5-hour podcast. I think me and all the British guys, we did quite a long one. This show isn't going to be that. This is going to be nice and compact, a good like 45, 50 minutes, there's going to be highlight clips for everyone. So it's not something that's going to be like this huge time consuming thing. It's going to be quite nice. And, both you and I are, we want to try and tinker everything and get the best out of it possible. But at the same time, I've got complete confidence that we'll be able to manage an hour's worth of content or less,
And it's just the fact that we have a vision for what we'd like to do. I mean, we want to provide great quality content like we always have, like we always will. That's the purpose for this. That's the end goal, that's the end game, is to give the highest quality content that we can, but also talk about things that interest us in a broader sense, a broader spectrum. It's going to be everything from manga to anime to books. You know what? We might throw in a WWE reference every now and then. We might talk
Sometimes you got to lay a smack down, you got to let the jabronis know.
I mean, if you can't smell what the Rock is cooking, you're not really...
I thought that was going to keep going. I was like, I don't know what else to do.
It was going
to. But that's the thing. I think, like, I don't know about you guys, but when I like all the people that I watch on MangaTube and YouTube, don't get me wrong, I love manga, but I get more excited about seeing the person. I love getting to know the people. So us doing this is kind of us kind of branching out about that, because I'd love to get to know people even more. That's why, like, when Jin has his discussion videos, I get to know Jin more. Obviously we'll do these every now and again, but then it's a nice way to get to know people a little bit more. And I feel like us doing Let's Get Serial will be like that, because we'll talk about, music, we'll talk about movies and TV, we'll talk about sports, we'll talk about whatever, as well as manga and anime. That's a passion of ours. There's no way that's not going to come through.
You'll talk about Jin.
Yeah, that's it. Let's get Jin. That's what we'll call it.
Actually,
but I think it's just
let's get Jin and a spotted tea.
You got it.
That would have been a brilliant name. Oh man. Man, you just blew my mind with a great name. And then Base also asked, would you cut or add content depending on the feedback that you received?
I don't think so. I mean, possibly, but I feel like people don't realize that we have been spending a lot of time on this, and we are so streamlined in what we want to do that this show is more for us than anything else. And don't get me wrong, we want to have as big an audience as we can, but it's something that we want to have fun with. And I feel like as long as we're having fun, if people are in the comments hating a certain thing, we'll have the clips channel. Well, not clips channel, but we'll have the clips videos for it and stuff like that. For sure, we'll always be open-minded and stuff, but I'm pretty confident that the amount of work that we've already put in, I feel like people will be, they'll be happy with it. I think people will be surprised.
I mean, I think if we haven't surprised you with what we're gonna do, then we haven't been doing our jobs. Like,
yeah, saying that, I don't feel any, like, as much as we want to like push this as much as possible, I don't actually feel pressure with it at all, because it's about having fun and then hoping that people can share it. And also, like, I feel like it'll be nice for our small community to try and, if other people come into it, because, at one point we discuss, say, something anime related, or we discuss something, I don't know, like Marvel related or whatever it is, and people can come in and meet new people through it, then that's it's even Fantastica. If that's a word, Fantastica. I made it up. TM, Fantastica.
Right.
So copyright TM, yeah. But yeah, like I just feel, I don't feel any pressure at all, which is quite nice, considering that that we're going to be putting so much effort into it. But I still don't feel like that. I mean, like, even with my podcast, I did start to feel pressure after a while, because it was like once a week. I wanted to make sure that it was as good as possible, and whatnot. Whereas this, I feel like this is just going to be just a silly goose time, I
mean, I'm always a silly goose. I'm the ultimate silly goose, except for I hate geese. Canadian geese, specifically.
Anything with a large wingspan, I find absolutely terrifying. Emus, ostriches, even peacocks, like anything that needs to, like, extend itself. No, I'm good.
Okay, but ostriches don't really have that huge of a wingspan. Or are you talking, like, in general, not just proportionally?
I'm pretty sure they can flap up when they want to, right? They can
flap up, but it's not like it's not huge.
Yeah, but you can compare. Like, think about how big an ostrich is.
Hey, you were just making me think of, on my grandparents' farm, they have these things called guineas.
Oh no!
Look strange as hell, and when they're all coming at you at once, they make this little squeak sound. Oh man, imagine like 100 mice like coming at you, all squeaking at once. It's the mice are less intimidating than the guineas.
That's just horrifying.
Oh man, I got trapped in the garage with some of them one time. I was like, oh shit.
Run, trample them and run, trample them and run.
Jin, how tall are you?
Almost 6'3".
Oh, we're the same height. God damn. I always thought you were tall, but I wasn't sure.
Y'all
I could just tell, even though the angle, I was like, that dude's got legs. I could tell.
God, you're all the worst. You're only 9 inches taller than me.
Only 9.
Only 9.
It's cool.
It's acceptable.
Only.
So CJ asked the most important question that I've actually ever been asked, and that is, if you could eat a devil fruit, which one would it be?
I don't know any of them, really.
Well,
I'm still so. I'm only
can make one up.
Like,
you can make one up.
I can make one up.
I'll let you make one up for that.
I'd like. I don't know if is it only physical stuff, or can it be like mental games as well?
Mental.
Yeah, I'd like to know when someone's talking shit, like someone's just lying, like a bull. It's just like the bullshit me. I'd like to know as soon as someone says something, I know if it's a lie or not. I think that would be a great thing to do.
Oh, the thought fruit,
the human lie detector.
Yeah, I just love to know. Like, it's kind of like, do you know, like in Brian's favorite show, Death Note, like when the Shinigami eyes, like you would know above their head, like if they're lying. That's how I feel like this devil fruit would work.
That would actually be really dope. Yeah, you came up with an original one. What about you, Jin? What would yours be?
Oh, man, I don't know, because this is like the whole superhero question. Probably like lightning.
So that would have been the lightning, the thunder
Inky.
fruit, actually.
Yeah, Inky.
Yeah, that would have been. That's. Oh man. Y'all.
So what would you go for then?
Me? Oh, I 100% hands down. I think actually the most versatile one would be the spring fruit. Spring fruit would be really, really dope. But I might end up going with a Zoan and go with a carnivorous Zoan and go with the cat fruit. Meow.
They all sound crazy, but I like it.
Right?
I feel like we could go with the munch fruit.
Actually, I lied. The munch fruit would be amazing. Being able to eat anything that I wanted. Dope.
And then take on.
You can do that. You just get really fat. Like it's like I don't know.
You don't need a devil fruit to be the munch man.
But that guy.
It looks like I've had that for you.
Like he never worked out. Like, you know.
Oh man. Yeah, but then he ate himself and became jacked.
Yeah, he did. That was weird as hell.
That was probably one of the most trippy things ever. That was such a good. That's okay. That was an okay question. It was pretty decent.
So where did the name come from? I see Senpai. Yeah. So basically, it's just a play on the phrase like let's get serious, guys. Now, like let's get serious. But it's like deadly cereal. Like it's time to get cereal now. Deadly cereal. So it's just a dumb thing. But we thought that we would use the cereal box kind of thing, throw people off. We put them in videos. We hid them. We kind of did like all the kind of funny, try to be subliminal. I mean, like I think Brian's got it in the background. You can't see it because the thing's coming, but there's a Cheerios box up there as well. But we just kind of just did things like that, and everyone was all like, "I'm convinced they're starting a YouTube channel that's all about reviewing cereal." Or people thought we were making our own cereal. People thought we were starting like a loot box thing. And I think we just kind of played it up, really, didn't we? So
I have to ask y'all: was your help really good?
No way, that wasn't you, was it?
Yes.
There's no. Wow, we were. You know what? Blown away.
Who did y'all think it was?
Realistically, I thought it was Mike.
I did. Do you know what? I thought it was Mike as well.
I thought it was Mike. He thought it was Mike. We're both just like, we're like, who is Scarlet? Like, and we're like, could it be Jin? I was like, no, couldn't be Jin. Jin's got weight.
I told my other chat that I was like, guys, I have to tell you something, and I feel dirty about it. I have to tell you a secret, and they're like, what? I was like, I'm Scarlet, and they were like, no. Fanbanky probably. I feel like he tore down his horror DVD shelves when I told him that.
I'm more blown away than anything that you were Scarlet.
Hey, it was really hard trying to play a character that wasn't you and helping out at the same time.
Just terrible. Just absolutely mind-blowingly terrible. And I feel bad that we like.
I tried to drop Easter eggs for people to know, and nobody got it.
Well, but you know what? It's actually really hard trying to like come up with that stuff. Like, because we would try and like slip things in videos and stuff like that, but it is quite hard. I mean, we were just having just a really stupid fun time with it, but it was funny seeing people's reactions. Like, I remember when I put it up, people just messaged me going, "What the hell are you actually doing?" Like, uploading a video, just the title just gibberish and like absolutely nothing. But
my hardest one was making your video where it had all the Juji Ito stuff in it.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I was like, this person knows me somehow. Like I don't know like who, but yeah, no, it was fun. I'm if anything, I'm just really kind of glad now that it's kind of out now, and people I hope people are excited for it. I think it's gonna be fun.
I know I'm super pumped for it, but that's also because I'm not Scarlet. By the way, for those of you that don't know, Jin made a secondary, made an account called Scarlet Envelope. Was it Scarlet Envelope?
Scarlet Cover.
Scarlet Cover. And we couldn't figure out who it was because you were reposting our stuff, but also kind of doing your own thing at the same time. It was really weird. And so we spent this whole time trying to figure out what in the flying, this is my one, everybody.
But you know what's funny is I said to Brian, I was like, dude, have you seen this? And he was like, I thought that was you. I was like, what? No. But yeah, all good.
So yes, Scarlet was Jin. Jin is Scarlet Johansson. I knew it all
Hey,
along.
I just want to tell you, it made me feel bad every time because I didn't have anybody ask me, but when the subject popped up, I was like, I can't say anything. This is killing me inside.
Who is
I mean,
Scarlet cover?
even the show where we had Mikey and he kept calling you Scarlet, I was like, oh god, how do I like subtly do this without doing it?
But by the way, Jin, your shelves do look naked, like very, very naked.
Okay, hold on.
How are you deciding what to move, by the way?
We're moving it all.
Well, I mean, like, at what point in time? Like, I noticed some of the shelves are empty, some shelves are half empty. Like, what are you deciding to move when?
Oh, I'm trying to move everything that's completed.
Interesting. That way, if the house burns down, you're not missing too much. Got it. Okay.
See, I already know how stressful it's like the Great Wall of Manga. I already know how stressful moving is in general, let alone with 4,000 odd books. I can only imagine.
It would be horrifying. So, are you going to be building new shelves then? Are you going to be doing different shelves, new shelves? Like, what's going on?
I think I'm gonna do some new ones and these old ones.
You need to get all one
Um,
color, pitch black.
um,
No, black and white, and alternate them every other one.
Well, one of them that I'm gonna get are the really big, sturdy ones you can get at like Home Depot and stuff, where it's all metal. And these boxes that are right here, that's what like everything's in right now. So after I get done moving those three, I will have moved 20 of them. Everything laid on its side, 2 rows, basically back and forth, which is almost 90 books by itself. And
Christ.
shuffling 2 of those at the same time. Actually, I'm doing a kind of a video on it, and I actually say that I go, "This is a challenge, O'Hilly. Can you pick up 180 volumes of manga?" And I was like, this is
I
a
actually
great
saw a
challenge.
really cool thing on Reddit. It was the manga collecting subreddit, and it was this person, and what they had done is their whole bookshelf, they basically like kind of like glued or like paper mache like pages of manga all around the outside, so it just looked so cool that it just didn't look like a plain bookshelf. It basically looked like there was manga all around it. I just thought it just looked so cool, like how it all just blended in.
That's awesome.
So, Jin, how many bookshelves do you have, by the way? Just to put it into perspective for people.
I have
You don't know off the top of your head?
it's like 10.
Yeah.
That's a
10,
lot of shelves.
10/11. Well, 2 of them are bookshelves, but they have like pops and stuff on them.
All those trees, eh?
Man, a lot of. They're really
Well,
popping off the shelves.
They are. It's
I'm a
pain in the
terrible
butt.
person. I apologize, everybody. My puns are dad level, I hope.
Unbelievable.
I
Our
might
dad
not
level?
be. I might not be an otaku dad, but I do have dad puns.
So, have y'all read Promised Neverland?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was my first hint that I dropped by naming the guy Scarlet.
It's all coming together now.
I see. I see.
The red thing is actually a mouth for the villain from my favorite anime, which is Ronin Warriors.
Okay. Right.
The main guy, yeah, he's like, that's why I zoomed in real far. And then I did it the best way. I was actually waiting because if you went Jin, are you Scarlet? I was like, I'm not a liar. I'm gonna have to say yes. And I was gonna be like, I hope you're proud of me because I did everything virtually free.
It's like, do you know Will Ferrell in Austin Powers, where if you ask him the question 3 times, he can't lie. He's like, damn it, you asked me 3 times, okay.
Yes.
Mustafa.
I'm really badly injured.
Help! I'm really badly injured. I think.
That film is such a quote machine.
I
And do you know what's really sad is my other half, who I'm marrying next week, believe it or not, on this basis, I probably shouldn't. Doesn't like Austin Powers, and also she started watching Vinland Saga, the anime. I was like, look, you're not going to read any manga. She actually did say when we go on holiday, she's going to try reading Promised Neverland. She's never read manga before. I was like, right, try Vinland Saga. She watched 3 episodes and she said she didn't like it. Do I cancel the wedding? Or I don't know.
I mean, no. Remember, you said that you would sell her to get the Junji Ito book, so I think
that's very true. But or it's either that or she just buys it for me. So then, you know.
Yeah, but
not even all the Junji Ito books. It was only No Longer Human.
The possibility of No Longer Human was what he was willing to sell her for. Know that he still loves you, but he doesn't know if he can live with you. It's okay.
That's
okay.
true.
I feel like you should just throw a bunch of puns at her whenever she goes like to do makeup or whatever in the bathroom. You should be like, who does number 2 work for?
Just go, honestly, who throws a cupcake, you know?
Honestly, who throws a cupcake? I can't even do it. I can't do a British accent. I can do like a bunch of others. I cannot do a good British one.
It's quite hard to get. But Senpai actually asked a decent question. She says, how do you expect to produce the show when you're over the pond from each other? Do you foresee any issues that could pop up, such as internet delay? If it's not a live show, ignore this question. Yeah, well, it's not a live show, so we're going to be pre-recording everything. So we'll be using our, like, the cameras that we use for all of our normal, like, videos. We'll be using those. The sound will all be edited and everything like that.
Pick me.
Yes, Jin.
Pick me. Okay, so I had one question because I can see it having a problem, and I actually was waiting to see if one of you guys would address it, and you never did. So the only problem that I really see is the sponsorship thing, not for Americans, but for anybody in the UK and in Europe and whatnot. Because if like you do a giveaway and they get money from that or whatever, then it's still stuff that they're having to pay to get it brought over there.
That's normally how a lottery would work anyway. It's like over here, like if you win the national lottery, you still pay tax on it or whatever. So, I mean, it's a free thing. If people aren't into that, they don't have to enter anyway. If people would rather, that's the thing. The sponsorship that we've got with them, it's, you know, it's a great thing that we have anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's up to people if they want to get involved. But yeah, these giveaways are going to be cool.
I mean, I'm really excited for it.
Are you swimming in it yet?
Yeah, totally. All that I do is swim in hair.
Did you not tell Alex about it yet too?
I thought we announced it to everybody. But I'll let you do the honors, Jin.
Did we? So our sponsorship got accepted as well for the manga club.
Yes, it did. And what are we able to give as a prize?
We're able to give actual like product, a membership to like give you the discounts and stuff from Right Stuff, and or like gift cards.
Yes, the or is very important. You're not getting all 3 of those. You're getting one of those.
Not or and it's just or.
There's or. You're getting or. You're getting blank or blank or blank. Because eventually we'll try to get you the and thing, but oh boy, we ain't at that point yet in our lives.
And we might be able to ask Mike for a burnt copy so that you can get a third or a fourth option that includes an or, which is Auric von Liechtenstein, which is in A Knight's Tale. So we might be able to get you some burned copies of A Knight's Tale, right?
You know what? A Knight's Tale is actually pretty dope. You know, I just had a question. This is going to sound very weird, but I've never asked a British person because you brought it up, Alex. Mm-hmm. Is Austin Powers really, truly British?
In what sense?
In the sense that is he British? Like, is he a stereotypical 1960s Brit?
I mean, well, fortunately, I wasn't around in the 60s, but my parents were, and they don't act like he did. So, well, maybe they did. Maybe my dad's got some questions to answer, but we didn't have a car called the Jaguar. That's all I know. But do you know what? He does a good accent though.
Well, I mean, he's Scottish.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I always get really, really impressed when you see something because, like, I actually normally find that more than American trying to do an English accent. A Scottish person trying to do an English accent is probably a lot harder, just because a lot of the words just the way that they speak, I just find it's a lot faster, and it's yeah, I think I'd say he would play a convincing Brit for sure. Well, a convincing English person anyway.
And is there a difference between an English person and a Brit?
Depends, because Britain isn't just England, really.
It's Wales, Northern Ireland, technically.
You've got Wales. You've got Base Senpai seems to is confirming that he was a stereotypical Brit, but yeah, I suppose.
I mean, wait. Base Senpai was born in England in 1991.
He was.
What?
Yeah, and actually, I believe it's actually not too far. I want to say it was near Cambridge.
We're gonna totally have to put all this stuff together for like who's the oldest.
I mean, my American mind is being blown right now. But there's one thing that I've noticed about like Scottish and like Irish accents. They just have a different lilt to them than in English. Like, it's really, really weird. Like, the emphasis put on different words. Like, Irish say oil gets it done, like that. They say D instead of T. Scottish, depending on what you're listening to. Like, if you're listening to an American with a Scottish accent, they really slow down the words. Like,
well, it depends. It depends where you are from. Like Scotland, for example. Like my dad has got a full Scottish accent. My dad isn't from isn't from the UK. No, he is. But he didn't grow up in London, so I grew up with that. But even in Scotland, if you go like to the Highlands, they're a lot more. It's a lot thicker, and it's the same with like Welsh and like considering how big like America is in comparison to the UK, which is so small. The fact that we have so many regional accents is absolutely mind blowing, and probably just shows that we just need to be put down. Really,
I mean, but I'd miss you if you were put down. I'm not gonna lie.
That's true, but then I'm I'm the one with a real accent. This is how it's meant to sound. I'm joking. People get really angry at that.
My America called my non-accentless Midwestern tone tends to disagree. See,
I feel with America, like I feel like there's three main ones. You've got the kind of the East Coast, then you've got the, I want to say redneck kind of.
Well, dang all that redneck down there talks like this, man. You got a big
old dip long hair ain't covering up that redneck, boy.
That redneck got that dang old there red on the neck right there with that dip in the mouth.
Joanna Lee Scott Barber, Joe, get off the roof. And then you've got the kind of like, I would just say the normal kind of.
So yeah, you have the East Coast accent, which I cannot do for the life of me. Like New York is kind of like the East Coast.
I'm walking here.
I'm walking here. Like I'm walking here. Like, then you have the Midwestern accent. You kind of have the Cali accent a little bit, too. Like, it's a little bit slower pace over there. But then you get, like, that dang old dip in your lip. You gotta put that big old dip in your lip when you're talking about that country music. You get your big old can of Copenhagen, you get your 6-shooter, and you go out and say, Cooter, we need to go fix your Chevy truck.
That's my favorite accent out of all of them, I'd have to say. Like, I just find it fascinating. I really like listening to it.
Man,
where all have y'all been?
Where y'all been?
Where y'all? Where? Can you do an English accent? Can you do an American accent?
Well,
like it.
I will just tell you that since I've probably been to like 20 of the states, there's a lot more than that.
See, do you know what? I find it's easier to do like a would you call it? Is that, I don't want to call it redneck because I know that's got a bad connotation, but is that a Midwest accent?
Like, so where I'm at right
Southern
now...
accent, right? That's a Southern accent.
Southern accent is the one where it sounds like you... Now, it's Texas. You got that Texas accent right there. That sweet Mississippi drawl.
Brilliant. I love it. Yeah, I think that one's easier because it's more... not caricaturous, because that sounds like you're throwing shade at it. But whereas... just like kind of just doing like a normal kind of, say, like an accent from someone in like LA or Florida or something like that. I just imagine that's... I feel like it's easier to get wrong, whereas like anything that's just so bold, like even like the New York accent, like I don't know, like
I'm throwing a pizza. Paulie, I'm getting a pizza.
pizza.
I can't even do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, but that's the fact is you've got there's going to be mixtures of accents and stuff that you guys have, but over here we've got so many different accents, and we're only like between where I live and say where Utu Shelf lives, which is where it's like Birmingham. That's a 2-hour drive from me, but they've got a completely different accent. So it's kind of like
2 hours is a different accent.
Yeah, crazy, and it's like that every other like 2 hours. It is like there's like Newcastle, which is probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Scotland. And even in Scotland, they have their own different accents. It's all crazy. I moved from London to 45 minutes away from London, and they have accents here as well.
Huh. Interesting. Actually, want to know an interesting fact about accents? I don't know why how we even got onto this really, but we
got onto it because of Austin.
We did. Austin Powers is the source of everything. However, radio broadcasters and TV hosts, news hosts, are actually encouraged to learn how to have a Midwestern non-accent because it's the easiest for everyone to understand, and it lets them go from show to show and speak clearly and precisely.
Yes. That makes sense. That does make sense, though.
You should write it down. It happened in Arkansas. Write down news anchor goes ghetto. Look it up later.
Yeah, I love. It's like I think there was like a bee or something flying around. This one guy
gets in his mouth.
Yeah, and then he just the roadman in him just comes out. But I love that, like when you see those moments of just like it's kind of like in WWE or something like that when you see the moment where they kind of the act gets dropped for a second, like that moment. It's almost like if you go see like a live show and something doesn't go wrong and you see like a moment they react or something like that. I love seeing stuff like that. So those videos, I love it, especially that one where the guy just goes from full presenter guy to just like straight up, I'm just the girdle,
The accents are just so interesting. Like
they are, and that's why I actually always found that like people that do voice acting is that's the thing. So like say for example you're watching an anime, because you can't understand it, you're not going to pick up on that. But then if like when American people do it, I always find that it's typically the same style of voice that you'll hear in manga. Anime. You're never really going to hear a southern accent or that New Jersey accent come through. It's normally that same kind of accent, unless you guys disagree. But
no, I agree. It's just, and like accents are even like can be broken down in cities. Like there's different accents within some of the cities over there, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure.
Cockney, I think, is technically an accent within a city. No,
yeah. So Cockney is an accent within London, but London is you got to remember, like London is probably the most diverse city in the world for sure, just because of the immigration policies that we have. So you've got Caribbean people, you've got white people, you've got Indian people. So and then you've got the old East End Cockneys. So it's kind of like you can go to areas where it's you wouldn't even hear an accent like your own, even though you grew up there. So London, for example, is just like a melting pot of everything. It's the most unique place in the world.
And is the food good in London, or is it just the alcohol in the tea?
People think that actually we do drink a lot of tea, but not many people are big on crumpets like people think, and everyone thinks we've got really bad teeth as well. But yeah, no, the food's good. The thing is, the reason why it's good is because of all the different people that we have here. If it was just all English people, it would probably be absolutely horrible. But the fact that we've got like West Indian food, we've got Indian food, we've got absolutely everything. It's just like, I think it's better. I don't know if it was just all English and we were just eating fish and chips, which isn't even really an English food. It's everywhere. Or you go to Scotland and eat a deep fried pizza. So.
I mean, or haggis.
Haggis is
Well, I mean, it's just so weird. Like, you only hear about blood sausage in England, blood pudding. I don't even know what it is anymore. It's all confusing, and it all starts with blood, and I don't know why you Brits are obsessed with that.
It's the meat with blood put back into it.
Why? Why would you want to do that?
It's like sheep's pluck, so it's like it's got like onion in it. It's got like spices and stuff like that, but it's like it's animal stomach, really.
It's like the southern meatloaf.
Yeah.
That's
I have bangers and mash.
Potatoes and that's just
Shepherd's
potatoes,
pie.
gravy, and But that's the thing. Like, I don't feel like English people really have like traditional food in the sense that a lot of other cultures have. I don't know if you guys feel like the same about America, because I don't really know if there is American cuisine as such.
absolutely. The hamburger, which was technically invented by Genghis Khan on accident while they were riding by the Khans on accident while they were riding their horses, and it had mutton underneath the saddle, and it became steak, a Hamburg steak, and then became hamburgers over in America when they slapped it in between two pieces of bread.
Hamburger?
Oh, so something that was invented by someone not American then.
Shh. Nothing was ever invented.
We can
in
appropriate
America.
though. We can take that. That's fine. That's fine.
That's what we do, right? We appropriate culture. Political reference. Never thought I'd make one of those.
I know, right? Where we go? We're talking about. I talked about emigration earlier on. Like, what the hell? But
Right. Then we find out later that aliens came down and actually like invented all the food that we like, and we're like,
are you guys
nobody
planning
even
to?
made-
Are you guys planning to go to Area 51 then?
No. My whole thing is Area 51 is a front. They would not make a secret military base so open to the public. If I was going to do anything, when everyone else is storming Area 51, I would be going to the Smithsonian, because that's where all the deep stuff is actually hidden underneath the steps of the United States government. That's where it's all hidden.
I'd go to that Detroit airport. I watched a documentary on that, and that looks crazy.
Denver Airport.
Denver, that's it.
Going to the Detroit one might be a little bit risky.
or
Yeah.
what is it? The plant, the seed place? It's in like Alaska.
The seed bank. Was that Monsanto seed bank?
Oh, that's that one in the mountains. Yeah, that's where it's at, I reckon.
But see, what they tell us is they only tell us what they want us to know. So realistically, Area 51 is not Area 51. It's more like Area 50. Area 51 is really probably hidden somewhere where no one would expect it.
It's actually Area 51.5.
The fake.
The 0.5 just fell off.
Actually, you know how we always see it Area -51? That's actually a minus sign. It's Area -51, so it's the exact opposite of Area 51.
I get you. It's clever. I like it.
They're so smart.
Like, how many people do you think actually turn up to that? Because there's going to be some people, right?
They will be arrested.
Obviously.
Yeah, I mean the sign in front of it says if you cross this and go like 5 feet, that they're able to shoot you.
Yeah, it's super intense.
To be fair, like Area 51 does fascinate me. Like Base has mentioned the Bob Lazar thing. I watched his film recently, and like no one can deny that there's something going on there that's cool. But I don't believe that there's aliens there. I just think that it's just where they just have all the technology that they use for war and stuff like that, and then they bring out. So you might be sat on a mountain range and you see flying saucers, but maybe that's what the military will be using them in a couple of years or something. Like, I don't know. I just don't feel like, it's like the set of Allonsyyy or something.
That would be dope. Terrifying, but dope.
If anything, could you imagine all those people, they finally break in, and then like that opening scene to Allonsyyy where like I think it's like 50 people drop dead in like 3 seconds flat, like how gutted you would be, like we finally got in, and then it just killed you anyway.
You ain't gonna be clapping alien cheeks when aliens are slicing up yours.
Yeah.
It's terrible. There's just so much to explore with Area 51 that when it finally does happen, besides it's happening on which day? 13th?
I'm not actually so sure.
The 20th. You're about to be put on some FBI list for typing in Area 51 raid day.
Right. They're gonna be like, is his honeymoon gonna be in America? Cancel that flight.
I've actually never been to America in my life. Yeah. And I'd like to go, but I am terrified of putting on weight as well, because you guys go crazy with the food, which is something that I appreciate, believe me. But yeah, we were going to go to Florida, but then we went to Japan instead. So I think that's a fair one.
That was a better call. I mean, then it would have been UN based in the same state. No single state can control all that awesomeness.
That's true. I'd love to meet Space Empire. Actually, he's a cool dude.
He seems.
That's what I'm saying. Like one day, I would love if we could try and like everyone just get in the same room. I think that'd be so cool. just be like people just walking through the door, and then we're like, "Yo, it's you, it's you, it's you," and then everyone's just hanging out.
You know what we should do? We should
I feel
crowdfund
like
to get a
I feel like
booth.
it would be really weird because we're usually used to like seeing it like here, and it would be lovely like.
No.
You guys okay up there?
I'd be honest. I'd be on a
Raining?
stool. I'd have stilts. Don't worry. I have this down pat. No, you know what? You know what? I think you know what? We should all try to work towards getting to San Diego Comic-Con and getting a booth there as manga
Like the
tubers
completely opposite way for Allonsyyy.
for everybody. That's it. It's fine. No, it's
Like,
the same
someone's
way.
gonna have to do the traveling, right?
I mean, or we can do a Kansas City Comic-Con. That's right in the middle of the United States.
We'll meet in the middle of the ocean. It'll be fine.
We'll go. We'll do a manga cruise.
Yeah.
I mean, like a world tour. We'd have to go visit Prete in India.
Yeah.
Do we know any Mexican manga tubers?
No, I don't. I barely know any English ones.
There's like there's like 6 of you now.
Yeah, I tell you, we're starting an army. We actually are. So let's think of it. There's me. There's Hyder Manga. There's Ushu's Shelf. There's On the Shelf. There's A Man and His Merch. There is Shuriken.
Baku
me.
Watch. Technically, I
Yeah.
guess based since he was born in the UK.
He's trying to claim that dual citizenship, right? Okay.
I mean, I don't blame him.
Yeah, no, I can't either, to be fair.
Tokyo, Oklahoma? What? I'm more confused about that than anything.
I always get confused when they're twin cities. You know, it's just like,
Which
Right.
you should come to Tokyo. Which one? Apparently.
I had to tell him the joke about our states whenever he was on the last live stream with his friend. I was like, he was like, why is it called Kansas and then there's Arkansas? I go, well, some people call it Arkansas.
oh my god, Jin, right? So my favorite, you guys remember Vine, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite Vine, it was this Chinese woman. She might not have been Chinese, she was Asian. And she goes, America, I am Confucian. Why is this one Arkansas, but this one is Kansas? Explain. And it's so true. Like when you read it, it's just like it's practically the same, but it's said differently.
Okay, you think that's confusing? So in my home state of Nebraska, there is Lancaster County and Lincoln County. Now Lincoln County has a Lancaster City, and Lancaster County has a Lincoln City. One of them is the state capital. Try to guess which one. And oddly enough, the backstory behind it.
Pat.
Oh, you're gonna have to tell me that one.
Okay, so it is Lincoln, Nebraska is the capital of Nebraska. And the reason why it is named Lincoln is because after Abraham Lincoln was shot, Nebraska was not a state yet. So they had 2 cities competing to be the state capital. It was Omaha and it was Lincoln. And the rivalry still goes on. No one likes Omaha, but no one really likes Council Bluffs. But anyway, the people were having contests back and forth. Omaha forced everyone in their city to give up ice to make ice cream for the people who would come and visit to decide whether or not they could be the state capital. Lincoln, on the other hand, was named something else, and they were like, you know what we should do? We should name our city after the recently assassinated president of the United States of America. Because if they don't pick us, then they're un-American. And guess what? It worked.
Oh man.
It worked. It was a terrible plan. Terrible plan. Like name yourself after a dead guy because he's dead.
I just have to tell you a horror story from when I worked in property tax.
Uh-oh.
I'm sitting there, and the guy's name already is like John Smith something, and he's like, "Yeah, I need to settle this thing or whatever." So I'm trying to figure out where he is and everything. We're talking about it. He's like, "Yeah, I live on this street." I'm like, "Sir, I don't see you on the street anywhere." He's like, "Well, I'm there." So we start talking. I probably talked to this guy an hour and a half, and he just starts chuckling. And he goes, "I'm sorry, I called the wrong place." And he goes, I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I'm in Pulaski, Virginia. I didn't mean to call Pulaski, Arkansas."
That's terrible.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, we've gotten it from a couple different places that share the same name.
See, all you guys tuning in, you thought we were talking about manga today, right?
Turns out geography and accents is what we specialize in.
Yeah, and secret
and Area 51 and Bangers and Mash.
I mean, hey, Bangers and Mash is delicious.
Secret aliases.
Yes, Scarlet. You know what? We're getting towards the end of the hour, and this was actually a really fun discussion. I know we didn't talk about manga all that much. What we did do is we got to know each other a little bit better. We talked about the new Let's Get Serial show, which will be premiering very soon.
Trust me.
It's going to be amazing. We're having a good time. So, Allonsyyy, Alex, my good friend, my compatriot, my amigo, tell them where they can find you and what you're going to be up to.
So, my channel is Allonsyyy or Allonsyyy, it was called that, but everyone just started calling it Allonsyyy, so I succumbed to that. So you can find me on YouTube as well. I make manga videos. That I will be slowing down a little bit just because I'm out of the country next week because I'm getting married. So I have to give my attention to my lovely lady. So I'll try uploading, but I'm trying not to feel the pressure of it anymore. But yeah, so I've got some cool videos coming up. I'm going to have a Berserk First Impressions coming out soon as well, which I'm quite excited about. The next One Piece arc review as well. I've got a video coming out about the benefits of manga as well. And obviously the Let's Get Serial show as well, which you are going to be starring that with me as well. So I'm really, really excited about that as well. And I feel like people are not going to get it until they see it. And it's going to be, as soon as they see it, they're going to get it. They're going to fully get it straight away. And I can't wait. So
would there be cereal?
Maybe.
There might be. You never know. I mean, like we might as well just double down, right?
Right. I expect it to be like Saturday morning cartoons.
It'll be exactly that. It's all animated, hand drawn by me while I work and make YouTube channels.
Oh yeah.
Jin, what are you up to? They obviously know where to find you, but what are you up to?
So I am actually planting roots finally in my own podcast that I have done. Started with Otaku Mike, and I took the idea and ran with it. I am going to be asking different people in the manga community for manga that I've read and that they like, and basically doing videos together on those books that we like. So, of course, stay tuned. Allonsyyy, Loaly, I'll probably ask you guys for one to jump in and do chapter reviews with me on, at least for a little while. Till we get the series done. And of course, I have my moving videos that I'm doing right now. And last but not least, I'm working on it. I'm putting out a video for anybody. Actually, Highland Manga kind of inspired me for it. Anybody, I made the promise, when you're new to the community, we try and get you your first 100 as fast as we can, basically. And whenever you get past that and you want to make it to 500, then Jen Graves will be on a live stream with you. So,
yeah, can we make sure that we get Highland Manga over 500 because she completely deserves it and is one of the coolest people on here. And if while you're there, you can also try and get me to 1,000 if you really, really want to be nice too. So thank you very much.
Right. I mean, like less than 10 guys. Like just push it.
Yeah, well, I think Hannah's literally like 2 or 3 away.
Hey, do you want the information for the Scarlet Twitter? I can totally give it to you because. I'll tell you how I did the people on there, the followers. I went through on people that you both followed and that followed you back and followed them. That's stressful as hell because you can only do about 400 every time, and it's in increments of a minute. So if you do 20 and you go over 20 in a minute, it's like you can't do anymore. So you have to wait like 5 minutes for that to go. And then I started doing like me and everybody else that we know. And oddly enough, the weird thing is every day I logged back onto it just to check how it was doing. I would have 50 more subscribers to that channel. And I was like, this is weird. Like, this shouldn't be happening because it's a fake account. But I think it does better than my Twitter now. So I'm like, horrible.
I mean,
Social media fame.
that is social media. And
Yep.
as for me, I guess nothing really big happening this week. Still getting prepared for my wedding as well. I'll have my manga all out on Monday, I believe, if it goes as usual. Next week is going to be just Jin and I for a quick manga club while we wrap up everything that we loved about this session between our last Only Us show. So I'm pretty excited, and I know Jin is as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to Allonsyyy to get him over 1,000. Don't forget to subscribe to Highland Manga to get her over 500. And last but not least, don't forget to have fun, read manga. And for everyone new and old, welcome and welcome back. It's your boy Lohili, and I'll see you next video.
Bye.
Bye.